Roxo Media House. From the Flying T Studio at Roxo Media House, this is Frogs Today, featuring special guests, women's golf coach Angie Larkin and two of her student athletes, TCU Showgirls director Lindsay Westbrook. In our Where Are They Now segment, former Frog baseball coach Lance Brown, plus our roundtable of Frog experts. Here's your host, Brian Estridge.
We have finally made it to double digits. It is episode 10 of Frogs Today, and I'm so happy you've joined us here this week. Boy, we got a lot we got to get into. Later on, we're going to brag about what's happening locally on the pro scene because the Mavericks and Stars, the Stars had a great run. But look at the Mavs still going. And there's a TCU connection that we got to work in there, all right, a little bit later on. We'll talk about that on our expert round table as the show winds up a little bit later on. We've also got some very special guests who are going to join us here today. Lance Brown, the former baseball coach here at TCU, is going to be by. Of course, LB was the coach the first year of the new stadium. We're going to get his take on Kirk Saarloos' team this year. We also got Harold Muckleroy, former football player here at TCU, but we're going to talk golf with him. Speaking of golf, women's golf team currently is in Arizona for the NCAAs. Angie Larkin and a few of her best friends are going to stop by and preview that one for us. We got a lot we got to get into. It's going to be a busy day. And as things start to wind down on campus, you got the men's tennis team at the NCAA tournament up in Champaign. You got track and field at the conference championships. You got the Big 12, you got the regionals going on as far as men's golf is concerned. So starting to close out the school year and having a ton of success doing it right now on the TCU campus. We get to kind of recap all that right now and dive right into the show because we got a lot we got to get into. Let's start at the newsroom. Maggie Hale recaps all of it for us right now. Hey, Maggie, how you doing?
Thanks, Brian. So much to discuss this week, starting with the number 1 ranked men's tennis team. This week, the team will head to Champaign, Illinois to compete against number 8 Kentucky. This match marks the 5th time in the past 7 seasons that the Horned Frogs have played in the NCAA quarterfinals. This appearance record is the most in the country. The Frogs finding success at the Big 12 tournament track meet this past weekend. Devin Robertson won the discus on his final throw, becoming TCU's first Big 12 discus champion. Champions all across the board for the 4x100 Frogs relay, becoming back-to-back Big 12 champs. And baseball on a 4-game win streak did not disappoint in Lawrence, Kansas this past weekend. If you can imagine, the sweep wasn't even the big part of the story. Saturday afternoon, the Frogs coming up with a 30-3 win. The Frogs tied the school record for runs scored in a game. Outfielder Porter Brown had himself a day with 10 RBIs and 2 home runs. The Frogs were all home run hitters all weekend long, with David Bishop, Luke Boyers, Brody Green, Gray Rogers, Curtis Byrne, and Braden Taylor. And 2 very special Horned Frog baseball players selected to play for the USA Baseball Collegiate National Team. Sophomore pitcher River Ridings and sophomore third baseman Braden Taylor. TCU has sent 11 players to appear on the roster, and this now marks the 3rd time that TCU has had multiple representatives. Let's go ahead and send it back over to the studio with Brian.
Yeah, thanks, Maggie. There's one other news note that we wanted to get into here on Frogs Today, and we're honored to have our friend Harold Muckleroy join us here, the former TCU football letterman, but also chairman of the Ben Hogan Award, which to me, and I'm a little biased now, is one of the great days in Fort Worth, and really shines a light not only on Fort Worth, but to a degree TCU and Colonial Country Club. I know you're excited about what's coming up next week, aren't you?
Absolutely, Brian. The Ben Hogan Award is really the Heisman Trophy of college golf, and we're extremely proud of it. It is hosted at Colonial Country Club. Our winners have gone on to be fantastic champions on the PGA Tour. They represent Colonial in that as a Ben Hogan Award winner, and they represent Fort Worth, of course. And we're very proud to be hosting that actually on Monday. It's coming Monday.
And it's interesting to me that this, I mean, you said it right. It is the Heisman Trophy of golf, and it's here in Fort Worth, Texas. A lot of folks don't know about it.
Yeah, I wish more people knew about it.
Yeah.
We are trying hard to promote it and make it more well known.
Yeah.
But it's a nugget that is not well known.
Yeah, and I talked to Bill Monagle, the head golf coach, just last week about it. And he goes, man, I got to get one of my guys in there. I got to keep going. That's a goal that every golf team in America has, is to have one of the 3 finalists for the Hogan Award.
Right. And we did have Julian Broom.
We did.
Several years ago from
Yep.
TCU. So they have had one. This year we have a first from Texas A&M, Sam Bennett, and a first from Texas Tech, and Ludwig Aberg.
Yes. So in addition to that, a player from Oklahoma State. So the Southwest is taken care of. By the way, just so you know, J.J. Henry says he should have been one back in the day. If it had been around and had been in Fort Worth, he said he would have been one.
We weren't hosting at that time.
Exactly. He would have been good. All right, so it's coming up Monday night. Obviously, it is a sold-out event, but folks can go to your website and stream it. They can also hear it live on Sirius XM if they'd like to, because it's a real pride factor for Fort Worth, right?
Absolutely, and we want to broadcast this all over the country, and so glad to be able to go to benhoganaward.org and watch it live, or it'll be on Sirius XM, I believe, channel 84.
84, yeah. And then at some point, I want you to come back, because I'm hearing some rumors about the potential of a really big college golf tournament again in Fort Worth.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be associated with Colonial Collegiate Invitational. It's been renamed to the Ben Hogan Collegiate Invitational at Colonial, and it will be here October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd this year. And we'd love to have people come out. It's free to attend. We'll have 15 of the best teams in the United States. I'm told that we'll have the best field other than the NCAA championship all year.
Wow.
For colleges, and we'd love for you to come out and gallery that.
Yeah, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you to come back before that, and let's brag on it then.
Let's do it.
All right, good deal.
Yeah,
Harold Muckleroy joining us here. The Ben Hogan Award coming up Monday night, live from Colonial Country Club. We got a lot more still to do on Frogs Today. Speaking of golf, Angie Larkin and her team are headed to Arizona for the NCAA tournament. They stop by first, and we talk to them next here on Frogs Today.
Criminals, killers. These stories of crime and punishment in the 21st century Western society, as told through the lens of retired Fort Worth Vice Cop Jake White and investigative journalist John Henry.
Catch a new episode every Saturday anywhere you get your podcasts or at signal51chronicles.com. Signal 51 Chronicles is a Roxo Media House production.
Frog fans, TCU Baseball introduces the Frog Flex Pack. This new edition this season gives fans the flexibility and power to decide what games they want to attend. The TCU Baseball Frog Flex Pack gives fans 10 vouchers to redeem for GA tickets at any home game this season for a low price of just $80. That's right, $80. Be sure to purchase your very own Frog Flex Pack today. Call 817-257-3764 or visit gofrogs.com.
What do you call a Fort Worth-centric podcast featuring guests of international, national, and local fame? Fortitude FW. Why catch the latest episode? Because every guest has a story to tell. Join hosts J.W. Wilson and Britton Payne every Friday for the latest stories from noted Fort Worthians in business, sports, lifestyle, entertainment, law enforcement, politics, and, well, you get the idea. Fortitude FW, where the stories never die. Listen anywhere you get your podcast or at fortitudefw.com. Fortitude FW is a Roxo Media House production. FrogsToday.com is the ultimate TCU sports fan community. Members enjoy exclusive content from inside the locker room, feature presentations, access to athletes, coaches, and alumni that are making headlines, and a live show featuring Brian Estridge. Join us and an interactive sports community full of Horned Frog fans now at FrogsToday.com. Frogs Today is a Roxo Media House production.
Frogs Today continues now. We've got three very special guests with us here in the Flying T Club studios. You know the lady to my left. Everyone knows Angie Larkin since 1994. Am I going to get that right?
You're aging
no,
me.
you and I have been here a long time. I know. She's my favorite coach here because Jamie Dixon's sitting in the crowd. I can say that. Coach Larkin's here with us here today. And she's brought two of her favorites. Sabrina Iqbal's from San Jose, right? Did I get that right?
That's correct.
All right, San Jose, California. And Kaylin McNabb is from just down the road in Johannesburg, right? South Africa. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Hey, I got to start with this because I know this about Angie's program, and you both have to have a nickname because I know Angie's really good about that. So, Sabrina, let's start with you. What's your nickname?
My nickname is Daisy Duke.
Stacy Duke?
Daisy Duke.
Daisy Duke. Oh, okay. Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, why Daisy Duke? Does it have to do with what is it?
No, just kind of they thought like my personality, I
Okay,
guess,
all right,
and
I like it.
some of the clothes I wear.
The little cutoff jeans, maybe.
I'm from California,
Okay. Yeah,
so
exactly.
makes sense.
Do you know who Daisy Duke is?
I had to look her up.
You had to look her up?
Yeah, I had to
Okay, I
look
was
her
going
up.
to say that's probably before your time.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
before time.
First time she brought it up. Okay. Now what about you, Kaylin? You have to have a
My
nickname.
full nickname is Mac and Cheese.
Mac and cheese, all right.
The Mac comes from McNabb,
I like it.
and the cheese, because apparently I'm a bit cheesy.
All right, I like it. That's good. You've always had great nicknames. And they just come to you, right? You've told me this before.
It
you
takes
spend
a
a little
couple
time
weeks
with
on
them, right?
Yeah, I gotta make sure.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure.
But then all of a sudden you go, oh, this
Oh,
fits.
that's it. Yeah.
It works.
Yes.
Because we still call Angela Garfield,
Yes, we
right?
do.
Yeah.
Call her
To
Gar.
this day, she still
Yeah.
answers.
Yes.
I want to walk through you guys now. Coming up on Friday in the NCAA's, it'll be happening, right?
Yes.
Coming up this Friday, and so this is our conversations prior to that, leading up to it, that regional.
Okay.
Walk us through that back nine and how tight it was and what was heading into that final round.
Okay, well, first I have to tell you that I never look at golf stat generally until the last nine, the last day.
Okay.
But this time I still didn't look. We were on the back nine, and Daisy was coming up 14. It's a par 5. I hadn't looked yet. I knew we were playing well. I knew it was close. I knew Florida was playing well. I knew Arizona. But I just like to stay present.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to coach in that moment. And so Daisy came up. It's a par 5. The other girls had already played through. We played that hole well. And I think she had like 89. She had hit a good drive. Her second shot was laid up. And then the approach shot was an elevated green. And we couldn't really see the pin, but it was about 89 yards. Was it 87? 70.
Yeah.
Okay, 70.
Yeah. Would have
Little
felt like
uphill.
89 for me.
Yeah, 70, a little uphill, into the wind, and so she just went through a routine. I was kind of standing off to the side. Her dad was up there, and I just said, just aim right at it, and I mean, she hit it pure, right at it. Took one hop, skipped, and in the hole. Eagle.
Yeah.
Yep. So I did not know this, but her player, the Florida girl, had eagled the hole before, holed out on a par 4.
Okay.
So she covered it up.
Right. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, so then we came through 15, 16, 17. Val had birdied 17. 17's a great par 4.
Now, are you looking at golf stat at this time?
No.
You're still not looking at golf stat?
No.
Going into 18, you're not looking at it?
Well, okay, so this is what happened. Our associate head coach, CK,
Yeah.
she looks.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And so she knows when she needs to tell me.
Right.
Okay. And she knew I had not looked. So I'm on 18. Trent had gone through. Val had gone through. Lois had hit her shot up there. And I get a text from CK. Coach, I just want you to know we're one back of Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm like, all right. So then the next text was, Cheese lost her ball. on 17.
Yeah.
Okay, so I start heading back down to 17.
She can laugh about this now.
Now we can laugh
You
about
know,
it.
you lost your ball and you're laughing over here.
Yeah.
It was not a good situation.
Not a good situation.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're texting. I'm like, I'm coming back to find it. She's like, it doesn't matter. She's already teed off. She's already up by the green. Okay. So she put herself in not a great situation.
Right.
On the approach shot. Had a impossible pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then had about it downhill, downwind, breaking away, and it ran all the way through the green.
Right.
Made a great 2-putt from there. So then CK comes up. Daisy had made a good par on 17. On 16. She was coming up 17. We go up to 18. Now I know I think we're one back at that point.
Okay.
Or no, we're even
Even
at
in
that
Florida
point.
at that point?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Her Florida girl proceeds to make a double on 17
Okay.
as well.
All right.
Okay, behind Chiefs.
Yeah, so that's good.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So now we're all square.
Right.
She's playing 18.
Mhm.
Not many birdies on 18. Hits her good drive, hits it in the rough. We lay up to the left. And then she's got a pitch to a 3-tiered green, pin in the back. Decides she's just going to land it all the way back there. Hits an amazing pitch to 8 feet, 6 feet,
7 feet.
7 feet. I leave to go help Daisy, and then we have a group text going with our other player who was there and our trainer, and they said she birdied. So we're like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. So you're one up at this point.
we're one up.
Okay.
Now Daisy's coming through.
Yeah.
She doesn't know, she just knows it's close because
When we were coming in, like 14, 15, up there, the Florida girl would always make these really good par putts, and like when she would hole out and stuff, they would give really big fist pumps.
Right.
So
you
I
knew
could tell that
They-
they really needed them.
Yeah, that they were important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Daisy comes through, good drive, good second shot. Third shot, I was helping her on the third shot. We had good yardage. The wind died a little bit, and she caught a flyer.
Yeah.
So over the green, you do not want to be over the green.
Mm-hmm.
And the other two girls had hit up. They both had birdie putts.
Okay.
Daisy, again, has this just incredible chip that she has to hit downwind, downhill, the whole thing. Everybody's watching. And she just hits the most unbelievable pitch shot.
Yeah.
And stops it short.
And it stops it short.
On the third tier, she's up high, right?
Yeah.
You're over it on the third tier and stop it from rolling down.
Stop it from, it doesn't even
And
roll
get to the hole.
Oh,
It's
it
short of
doesn't
the
to the
hole.
hole.
It's short of the hole.
Wow, how'd you do that?
We don't
I don't
know.
know.
We waited it to really. Okay.
Yeah.
So the other two girls missed their birdie putts. They were inside 10 feet.
Wow.
So they had a chance. And then Daisy gets up, she has about 4 feet. And we're just all holding hands. And
Did you know at this point?
No, I don't like to know.
Okay.
So I didn't know.
So you didn't know
Like
where
me.
it stood. You just knew, hey, I got to make
Yeah.
this putt.
I just wanted to shoot even par. I just wanted my par.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't know.
So she makes it,
she makes
and
eruption.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then at that point you knew, hey, that might have been pretty big.
Yes, I knew it probably was important. I didn't know that we had secured fourth. though,
Right. Right.
Until my teammates told me after.
All right. So what's the emotion like at that point for you guys?
Yeah, well, obviously super excited.
Yeah.
This is my first time being here, so
Right.
I didn't know that we hadn't made nationals in a while.
Yep.
So very excited to be there.
But this has been a consistent program. 19 straight postseasons. Am I right about that? Is that number right? 19.
Something like
I mean, you've been consistent there, but to get it to that, to get back to where, as I know I've heard you say, where you belong. That had to be really emotional for you.
It was really emotional.
Yeah. How did they react? Like afterwards? Like when did it set in with them that, hey, we did this, we pulled this off?
I mean, immediately.
Did it?
Yeah. I don't think we had to sit around and wait for it to settle in.
Right.
It was immediate.
And then
Yeah.
and then how quickly does she start focusing on what's next? I mean, how long does she let you enjoy it?
24
hours.
Yeah, we got 24 hours.
24 hours, and then you're off to the next one, right?
Yeah, and it's back to work.
Then it's back to work. I love it. Give us some sense of what the competition is going to be like. Obviously, it's the best of the best when you get there to Arizona. But give me some sense of what you're going to be faced with.
I mean, we've seen all these teams. We beat them, and it's really just like regionals. It's one of those things where, just like a LPGA qualifying school, you got the best of the best, and you just go and you play well that week, and you take control of, you focus on what you have control of, and that's playing your game.
And do you feel like you got momentum now? I mean, coming out of that regional, do you feel like, okay, this is a team that's kind of playing their best golf right now?
I feel like it. We've been very consistent all year. We had a couple bumps this spring, but looking back, everything happens for a reason, and it made us better. And we did some things at regionals with our putting, our strokes gained, greens hit, that kind of thing that we've been working towards, and we got closer to those. So, like you said, we're coming into our stride.
Yeah, Angie, you've been here, second longest tenured coach, right? I think on the state, behind
Coach,
Monaco.
Yeah,
Coach Monaco. Yeah, something special
trying to
about
catch
that
him,
guy. I know,
but-
so he's not going to let you.
I know.
He's not going to let you.
He's not leaving.
Give us some sense. You've had opportunities before. People have called you for different jobs, both college and other things. What is it about TCU that sets it apart for you?
Just the family, TCU's just really special. All the coaches, I got so many texts that morning from soccer coaches, equestrian, tennis. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
The morning of the last round.
Right.
I told Ryan Higginbotham with soccer, I'm like, that really helped me. The text he sent me, I was like, okay, let's go.
And all this success, the cool thing about it is you've had kind of in your hometown. You grew up in the mid-cities. You built this program here in Fort Worth. That's got to make it even more rewarding for you.
Yeah, it's just, it's just a sense of, like I said, family and purple and pride and loyalty and just everything that TCU stands for.
I love it.
It's really special.
Yeah. Sabrina, I want to talk about a couple things real quick. Academic All Big 12. Tell me what you're studying.
So I just graduated,
Right.
and my major was entrepreneurship and innovation.
Okay.
So I really like business,
Yeah.
and hopefully my goal as like a little girl was always start my own business, kind of in like golf and fashion and stuff like that. But hopefully I'll be able to do that after golf.
And being in Texas from San Jose, how's that been for you?
It was a really big adjustment at first.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I still like California a little
Right,
better.
that's okay.
But Texas has definitely welcomed me, and definitely I've loved it a little bit more every year.
Do you want a pair of boots?
Oh, yes. Well, I actually got it the tournament right before I got to college.
Okay.
As a gift
Oh, how
from a
about
tournament.
that?
So it was perfect timing.
It was great.
Yeah.
All right, Kaylin from Johannesburg. Tell me about Texas. How have you adjusted?
I think first semester was difficult.
Yeah.
Just getting used to being in a new country, away from family, that sort of thing. That was tough. But I think the weather helps a lot. It's hot in South Africa, so it's nice.
Very similar, right?
Yeah. It's a little bit more humid here, but pretty similar.
What do you miss the most?
From South Africa, I would say the food, honestly.
What's different?
Just honestly think that the food is more flavorsome.
Really?
Yeah. Everything is just barbecue and.
But we cook with jalapenos.
I mean, it's good food.
Yeah.
But I prefer my food from back home.
All right, great. South African Amateur of the Year. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got a good group, don't you?
We do.
You got to be proud of them.
I am.
know. I really appreciate you guys taking some time to visit with us today. Best of luck in the
Thank
NCAAs.
you.
Let's get this thing done, right?
Yes.
You know, hey, act like Angie's not here. All right. What's the best thing about Coach Larkin?
She's not just the coach, and she really cares about you off the golf course. And I feel like you don't really get that with a lot of other coaches, and you can really ask her for anything. And she's like a second mom.
Yeah. Kaylin, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I was gonna say like a mother figure.
Yeah.
She really is like family away from family.
I love that. You did good. All right. Thanks for joining us here for these three. I'm Brian Estridge. Thanks for joining us here on Frogs Today. We got a lot more still to come, including a look ahead to what the week's like, not only for this team, but we got one other one in postseason action we get to highlight. We do it next as Frogs Today continues in a moment.
Go Frogs.
Frogs Today continues now, and we are honored to have one of the all-time greats at TCU baseball in studio with us here at the Flying T Club studios right now. That, of course, is former TCU baseball coach, Hall of Famer, couple of Hall of Fames. We'll get into that later on. Lance Brown joins us right now. Good to see you, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It is an honor to have you. We figure, hey, baseball season, prime time of it right now, getting close to postseason, a perfect time to visit with you. Do you keep your eye on the Frogs still?
Yes, yes. I think was out, what was that, just last week. Watched a game on Sunday when they were playing. So, yeah, I get out as often as I can.
What do you think of this year's team? What do you think of what Kirk's done?
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
He's done a great job, and they've been up and down. I think that's the mark of a great coach is he's had them when they've lost 4 or 5 in a row. They bounce back. They haven't just died. So I think he's doing a great job. It's good.
The game has changed a little bit, obviously, with the NIL and the transfer portal, but it's still about producing runs, and it's still about pitching it.
Right. Yeah, it still is. And that's altered somewhat in terms, I know that things have gotten a little more mechanized, I guess, now. We're more in terms of pitching velocity and spin rates, and I'm the old school, just how can I get this guy out,
Right.
I don't care what my velocity or my spin rate, but he has done such a phenomenal job. I've been in the bullpen 2 or 3 times just watching what they're doing, and it is amazing, all the equipment they use and how they get their people prepared. So, yeah, it's
the
a neat
technology's
deal.
advanced a little,
wow.
has it not?
Yeah, that's way over my head.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to get my phone working, let alone that stuff.
You were part of the plan to put together the stadium that has now sort of settled in. Lupton has settled into a really neat collegiate setting, hasn't it?
Right, it has, and that was one of our deals that we kept working on. Was where do you put it? And it had to be, the lights could only be so high, so we had to dig down, which was a lot of money, but we wanted it to be fan-friendly and have people be able to come there and watch a game. Almost no matter where your seat is, you could see the game well, and I think it's lived up to that. And, of course, since they've added all the hitting cages and all that just made it that much better. But, yeah, I think it's a great facility, almost as good as our old one,
I was waiting on that.
Almost as good as our old one. But anyway, no, it's a phenomenal college facility and a phenomenal college atmosphere, I think, for baseball.
And fortunately, you got to coach that the first year in it. which is
Right.
great. So you put the old one to bed,
Right.
and
right.
then you got to bring this one online.
Yes, and that was a big experience. You don't get into all the things. Really at one time they wanted us not to build that stadium, to put it in a complex downtown, sort of like Oklahoma City.
Right.
And they'd play minor league and TCU and other places, and we chose, at least the brass chose, no, to stay on campus. So that was a huge decision that we made, and then of course to build the thing and get it going. So
we smile now about the old place,
right,
but there was some nuances to it that you could take advantage of,
Yeah.
and really make it a home field. I just remember the ramp, the
Yeah.
concrete ramp in the outfield,
center field.
center field. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask if you miss it, but there were things about it that had some character, right?
Oh yeah, and you know what? We had a great playing facility. Everybody always commented. when
On
I
the
came,
field itself, right?
What a great playing facility it was. But it was interesting to watch people not be able to play that.
Yeah.
The wall came off at a different angle than anybody thought it was, and going up the wall,
Yep.
having to get up there after a ball, and so yeah, there was a lot of. So we didn't really mind. And it was sort of short, but the weird part was the wind blew from right field foul pole to left field. So unless you hit it, we called it the Joshua tree. I don't know why. There was a tree in left center. If you could hit it there or left, you had a home run. If you hit it to the right of it, Babe Ruth couldn't have gotten one out of that park. So that was an interesting phase of that, watching people.
I want to rewind a little bit. West Plains, Missouri.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it true? At one point, did you think about going in the ministry?
I was. In fact, I spent 6 years, I think, at TCU and had some churches while I was playing pro ball, and that's what I studied. And came back after I got released and said, okay, I'm ready. Mm-hmm. And I think really God looked down and said, no, not him in the pulpit. Let's move him on. But they said, well, sure, in 3 years, as soon as you go to graduate school. And I go, are you joking? I've been here 6 years. I've had churches, been head pastor and all. And they said, well, no, that's what you got to do. So Coach Windegger called me one day and said, would you be interested in coaching? And I said, well, I guess, why? And he said, Arlington Sam Houston needs a baseball coach. So I really thought maybe I'd go into baseball for a year or two and go to school. And that never happened. I went to Arlington Sam and then coached high school for years, and
then with the Astros for a little while, right?
When I was at Rice, I started throwing batting practice with the Astros, and then came to TCU, and then threw batting practice with the Rangers, and that was, where I think I really got to watch Nolan Ryan every day, how he prepared, and totally different atmosphere in the clubhouse on the day he pitched.
Yeah.
And what he went through and then he helped us coach, I guess.
I was going to say that had to be your best recruiting job, was to convince Nolan Ryan to coach with you.
Well, that was, I used to tell him, I know you're not making much money, and so if you'll come with us, I'll help you through your bad times, your low times.
Right.
We'll help you a little bit through. But, it was so amazing that we thought that would be a great recruiting tool, but we didn't get that many. People wanted to meet him, wanted to get his autograph. Mm-hmm. But then, they'd end up going to somewhere else.
Right.
And we go, the heck here, this isn't working out like we thought it was. But no, he is, of Yogi, we talked about Yogi Berra, but Nolan, the most amazing baseball mind I've ever been around. He would sit in our dugout and just sort of look out, during the game. And then occasionally he'd go, do you mind if I talk to the team after the game? I go, no, go right ahead. Brian, he would start inning one, offense, defense, pitching, almost pitch by pitch, how this made it, what you did made a difference. And I'm going, I can't even remember that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have no clue because I'm writing stuff. So he just knew that. I mean, it was amazing. But it's also amazing that, let me tell you one thing, when he took his stuff, he would show up in gray pants and a white top. and a 10.5 shoe on the left foot and an size 11 shoe on the right foot. You know, you're going, and finally I said something to Ruth, and he said, well, you realize in the big leagues he never dressed himself. They all put his gear out, and I think he's colorblind. I think she said that. And so he'd come with the most, you'd go, are you joking? You're a big league Hall of Fame, and you're dressed like that, you know? But anyway, it was just to watch him and his mind, unbelievable.
Two things before I let you go. You probably got a tea time today, don't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Going to play.
How are you playing right now, by the way?
I haven't played much. I've had some knee injuries and stuff. And hey, if you have time, you know, here's how golf, everybody always talks about my golf. Here's how golf came around. When I was with the Astros, Larry Durker, there was a pitcher, announcer, manager. These rookies asked him, what do I do in the off season to get ready to pitch in the big leagues? And he goes, play golf. And I go, shut up, come on, give me a break. Right. He said, no, if you're mentally tough enough to go out and really focus and do your best on every shot. But he said, I watch you guys pitch. Shortstop makes an error, you don't get a call. Before long, you've given up 3-4 runs.
Right.
And so I thought about that, and then eventually it even got into my coaching a little, because you know you're behind 8-0, second inning, and you're going, okay, who are the people that haven't gotten in a game in a month? And I got to thinking, no, why don't we get a run in the third and maybe a couple in the fourth, one in the, because he would talk about if you make a bogey instead of quitting, why don't you think about maybe I could make a birdie 3-4 holes down the road? And so anyway, it was a unique deal. So that's where golf sort of got to be in. I would try and go out and play. It was so hard because, you know, it's so easy to hit a bad shot and then just go, blow.
Right.
You know, so it really was an amazing concept that I bought into from that. So I can't do that now, but I try sometimes.
There's one thing I've always admired about you, and that is no matter what you've done it with class, and I appreciate that about you. I've always thought you handled yourself in every situation and circumstance with class.
Thank you. And that came from, you know, when I first started, my number one thought, I guess, from religion was try to treat people like you would like to be treated, and even later, more so maybe how would they like to be treated, because I grew up in an atmosphere where praise wasn't too ready.
Right.
And my wife used to say, what are you doing? Why don't you tell them? You always yelling at them. And I'm going, okay. And then sure enough, I remember I was coaching early, and I'd go, you guys are so pathetic. You're so, and they'd go, what's this? I'll show you. And then I'd go, you guys are so pathetic. Yeah, I know. I don't understand why that. And I go, okay, I might need to change that. But except for one outburst against the Aggies, I think I handled everything, tried to handle everything well.
One.
Yeah, just one little outburst.
Can you come back and we talk umpires one day?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you need an hour?
3, 4, 5 hours.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Lance, great to see you.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for stopping
much
in
for
here.
having
It's an
me.
honor.
Well, thank
Pleasure.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Hey,
you.
let's pull on the Frogs at the end here now. Let's see if we can
we
go
got
into
to
number
do
one
that.
seed and go get them. You know?
Yeah. Santa Clara coming up.
Yeah, Santa Clara this weekend. So.
Yeah.
All right,
Good.
thank you.
Thank
That's Lance
you.
Brown, the former head baseball coach here at TC. We got a lot more still to come when Frogs Today continues in a moment.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com. On her new video podcast show, Curb Appeal, TV personality Kirby Schnorr talks about everything that appeals to her most with her best friend and City Boots owner and founder, Lizzie Bentley. Joined by their friends and special guests, they cover fashion, food, music, art, and Western culture while giving you a behind-the-scenes look at their lives, favorite places, and things to do in Fort Worth. Curb Appeal drops new episodes weekly at curbappealshow.com or anywhere you get your podcasts. Curb Appeal is a Roxo Media House production. FrogsToday.com is the ultimate TCU sports fan community. Members enjoy exclusive content from inside the locker room, feature presentations, access to athletes, coaches, and alumni that are making headlines, and a live show featuring Brian Estridge. Join us and an interactive sports community full of Horned Frog fans now at FrogsToday.com. Frogs Today is a Roxo Media House production.
Back we come on Frogs Today, an opportunity to visit with one of our favorites. Lindsay Westbrook is alongside. She's director of the Showgirls and spirit coordinator at TCU Athletics. And Lindsay, we wanted you to come by because I understand there is a whole new team for the Showgirls this year, right?
Oh, yes. We just had auditions and new tryout format. You know, COVID's over, so now we're back to in-person auditions.
Right.
And it was really fun because during COVID everything was virtual. Mm-hmm. Everything was online. And so that kind of made us go back to the drawing table and be like, okay, well, what did we like from this? And what did we like from in-person tryouts? And we kind of combined the two. And we came down and we kind of shook up tryouts a little bit. Yeah. And we have a really, really, really good team, and we're excited about it.
That's awesome. One of the things I've often wondered is, do they try out in the boots? Because they got to wear the boots all the time, so you would think that they'd have to try out in them.
No. However, during training camp, once they make the team, then they come and they get their boots, and then we always kind of practice in the boots because it is very different dancing in boots. The heaviness of the feet. A dancer is used to jazz shoes where there's like almost nothing there, or lyrical shoes, or dancing barefoot.
Yeah. It was tap shoes.
Yeah.
I was
tap
used
shoes.
to tap shoes.
Yeah. Can you show me that?
Yeah,
Can you show me a tap step?
That's why we cleared out space in the den here. No, so I remember, I think it was 2010. Was it the Fiesta Bowl that we rolled out the boots for the first time?
Fiesta Bowl, we rolled out the boots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our friends at Justin helped us with that, right?
Justin, yeah.
Yes.
It was a really funny process because that week, the week of that, game day was on set at TCU. So game day was there. And then we had a preseason basketball game. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And then so in the stands was Roy Topham.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, Roy.
Yes.
And he was in the stands and he was like, I like your boots. I was wearing some brown throwback cowboy boots that I'd had for years or whatever. And he was like, I like those boots. They're very Taylor Swift of you. And I was like, well, thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Roy. And he was like, can we get some of those for the Showgirls? And I was like, well, funny that you asked because really wanted to do that. Mm-hmm. And then he called me Monday and he was like, meet me up at Justin. And we designed these boots. Wow. And then they came in. It was like a week turnover time. It was like the most sporadic thing, but it happened overnight.
Now they're iconic, are they not?
Now they're iconic,
Everyone knows them, yeah.
And he was like, I thought you were going to do purple boots. And I was like, no, white boots. And so it was like this whole back and forth thing, and I never knew there were so many different variations of a boot. The pointed toe and the heel and all the stuff.
Roper, you could do whatever,
I mean, I had no idea. I was very new to the boot industry, apparently.
So not only is the boot iconic, but the uniform itself is at I started the College Football Hall of Fame. Is that right?
It's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. So several years after that, they reached out to us. They were doing the grand opening of the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And they were like, we want a uniform. And I was like, absolutely. We'll send it to you tomorrow. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's our cowboy uniform. That's what we wore in the Fiesta Bowl.
Right.
And that's kind of the iconic thing. Even though we do different variations of it year to year, that's kind of our go-to. We always go back to that one cowboy uniform with the boots.
A couple of things. One is total number of Showgirls on the team. How many?
It varies from year to year, but it's in between 20 to 30.
Okay. And then how many events a year will you guys do?
Oh, gosh.
Think about that. I mean, you all the games, show up at other events, you're doing, in town.
I mean, there's several each week.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to put a number on it, I'd say like 300.
300.
I don't know.
I think that's probably right. I think
we're at everything. We're at men and women's basketball. We're at all football, home and away.
Right.
Or if you're talking TCU Showgirls specifically, we also do baseball.
Yep. So then not to mention all the stuff you do in the community.
Yeah.
And showing up at other events.
And
things like that.
we love community, getting involved in the community. That's that's really what we want to do. We want to give back.
And not only you have the Showgirls, but you got Super Frog you get to deal with too. So that's always fun.
He's fun.
He's
a lot of fun.
Always fun. So for those who don't know, Lindsay, you were a cheerleader here.
I cheered at TCU.
You cheered at TCU. Then you were a Mavs dancer. And then you came back to kind of lead the program. So it means a little something to you here.
Oh yeah,
personally.
it's in my heart. It's my passion. I love dancing. I love the spirit of TCU. I love everything TCU and dance, and it kind of came together and combined, and I loved it.
Now, the next time, can you bring some Showgirls with you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I want you to do that. And I'd love you to bring Super Frog because what we're going to do is we're going to.
1 week from now, yes.
Okay, good.
Let's do
Because
it.
we're going to put a picture up so you can see the new team, so folks can see that. We want to see some of them in person.
Yeah.
So if you'll bring them the next time, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
I will bring them. I'm happy to bring them.
Super. All right. Do you want to dance or no?
Yeah, I'll give you a little Lola if you want.
There you go. Hey, thanks for joining us, Lindsay. You're the best.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
We
Thank you.
got more to come on Frogs Today after this time.
Hi, this is longtime Fort Worth Star-Telegram journalist Mac Engel, and I'm inviting you to join me for the Engel Angle podcast bi-monthly on Wednesdays with guests from the world of sports, entertainment, and general interest. I'll bring you my unique perspective and an entertaining spin to every episode. Listen anywhere you get your podcasts or at engelangle.com. That's ENGELANGLE.com. The Engel Angle is a Roxo Media House production.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com. FrogsToday.com is the ultimate TCU sports fan community. Members enjoy exclusive content from inside the locker room, feature presentations, access to athletes, coaches, and alumni that are making headlines, and a live show featuring Brian Estridge. Join us and an interactive sports community full of Horned Frog fans now at FrogsToday.com. Frogs Today is a Roxo Media House production.
Frogs Today continues with our round table of experts. Let's put that in parentheses now. Round table of experts, yes. The man of the hat.
This is parentheses.
Oh.
Quote mark, parentheses.
See, this guy is a journalism major. I had no idea, Those little hook things, you could go, right?
Yeah.
The man in the hat is, as you know, Jeff Wilson from FrogsToday.com. The man in the collared shirt, none of us recognize. But we do want to bring on Jay Fitzgerald, who's usually behind the scenes here. But, Jay, we wanted to have you on because I want to dive right into a couple of local stories. You are a resident Maverick and Stars fanatic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, did the Stars overachieve or underachieve this year?
I think they overachieved a little bit. I mean, they didn't score a lot of goals going into the playoffs. They got the last playoff spot possible, playing against the number 1 seed, not scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah.
And then they go into the series and score 12 goals and take them to Game 7 in overtime, which, with a breakaway at the end of the third and a lot of opportunities in that overtime period, I thought they'd pull it off.
You've been to 20-something Super Bowls. You've been to a ton of Final Fours. You've been to all the greatest sporting events. And you claim a Stars playoff overtime is as good as it gets.
Well, any playoff hockey it's just a different sport. It's even better than, but again, if you're comparing that to the Super Bowl,
right,
or a NASCAR All-Star Series and Masters, but All-Star hockey is impressive.
Yeah, you know what he's about to say, don't you?
No.
He was about to say it's even better than soccer.
Oh boy.
But he didn't. All right, now let's talk NBA because there's a TCU connection here. And Wilson and I were talking about that. So you got Golden State now coming up for the Mavs. Mavs pulled off the unthinkable and beat the number 1 seed Phoenix. Now you got Golden State. Golden State beats Memphis. Desmond Bain, who had a great series for Memphis, tried his best, had 25 in the last game.
Right. I think in the last that Timberwolves series, he had 27 3-pointers. He was like tied the record for a single 3-point game in team history.
Yeah. He was
all-star. I mean, you got NIT champion. You've got first-team all Big 12 with TCU, and obviously, stud there. And he averages 18.7 points, I believe, in the NBA now.
Right.
And second-team all rookie.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Maybe the best 3-point shooter in the league right now.
He might be. I know he didn't acquit himself very well in that contest at the All-Star game, but he quits himself when it matters.
You think about what Coach Dixon has done now, and you got 3 guys, Kenrich Williams, who was a little bit injured this year with Oklahoma City, but they love him there. You got Desmond, obviously. We talked about what he's done. And then the surprise of it is R.J. Nembhard. Cleveland gives him the 2-way contract. This is the guy they think that comes in next year and puts up big numbers for him.
Yeah, they love that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's impressive at TCU, obviously.
Yeah.
Left his junior year and now, played 14 games this year, but they like him.
And here's the good news is it would have been a 4th year in a row probably if Mike, fortunately Mike Miles stays.
Yes.
But you would have had a 4th guy in the league.
Yeah.
4 years in a row. That's unheard of for TCU basketball.
Well, there's talent there. I mean, just the spacing in the NBA game. Mike Miles is going to be a fit because he can hit that mid-range jumper. I mean, kind of think about Jalen Brunson with the Mavs, the way he gets to the rim. He can hit the 3 ball, but he also does really well from like 12 to 15 feet right in there. And that's kind of where Mike Miles can make some shots right along the baseline. That seems to be his favorite spot, but he's got a chance.
You have a Luka Doncic jersey.
I don't have a jersey, but I'm telling you, that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, now could they win it all?
Right. Did you see the video at the end of the game when they beat Phoenix when Dirk comes out on the floor and he whispers something in his ear? Did you see that? Man, wouldn't you want to know what Dirk said to Luka at the end of that game? When it was all said and done, those two get together. I'd love to know what he said to him.
I mean, that would be – I'm sure someone's got to, with all the mics that are out there and everything like that, they'd find out. But it'd be nice. Maybe that's your next guest.
Maybe it is. We have to ask and see. All right, I got 2 things I got to get to with you real quick. Kirk Saarloos' team.
Yep.
Up and down, up and down. Lance Brown was on with us earlier. He said a sign of a good coach is when you can weather that storm and you keep getting them to come back up again. What are you seeing right now out of this baseball team?
Well, I mean, what they did to Kansas was just, I guess it's what you're supposed to do. But I think they got healthy, in the figurative sense. They scored 30 runs on Saturday for crying out loud. Kind of an unheard of offense there in this conference. But you get the bats rolling. They got some good news on the pitching front with Riley Cornelio being able to pitch some on Sunday. They didn't have to tax the bullpen or the rotation. So everybody kind of got, I don't want to say a weekend off, but a lot of good things happening. Now they have Santa Clara this weekend, a non-conference. They kind of sit back and watch and see what happens with the Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech to see where they fall in the Big 12 tournament seedings. They're in a good spot, but they need to kind of stay hot. They don't need to take the week off. They need to take what good they got and any confidence that they got at Kansas and carry it over and roll it into the Big 12 tournament.
All right, and then one other thing real quick, men's tennis.
Yeah.
Champaign, David Roditi's team, in the mix in the Final 8, trying to get to that Final 4, right?
I don't know how anybody could dislike David Roditi.
No, I don't.
Jay shot a video of him that was on Instagram the other day, listening to him after the match. What a guy, and he loves TCU so much.
Yes.
It's just if you put it in the power rankings, he might be number 1. Just how much he loves the school and what it's done for him, what he's done for the school in turn. And he's got the number 1 team in the country. They're really good doubles players. They have some good singles players, so they've got a chance. They play Kentucky on Thursday, and then they see what happens.
The rumor is you got a big time guest next week on the Rangers podcast.
Forget next week.
Who you got this week?
Well, this week we're going to have John Gray, the
it's
Rangers
this week
right-hander.
you got John Gray.
Yeah, so be sure to check that out.
Okay.
And then next week we're still juggling, but we got a couple ball players in mind.
And then, of course, the other rumor is that Jay's working on some piece about food.
Oh, man.
Yeah, for the concession stands, right?
I just didn't get to eat any.
Yeah, but we're going to see that next week maybe, right?
It was too fancy for Jay.
Was that what it was?
It had stuff on it.
Did it have a fork?
It wasn't just meat.
Oh,
The
okay.
food was touching. Can't happen.
Okay. The food was touching. I like it. Gentlemen, thanks for coming by. Don't leave me hanging. Come on.
Sorry.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right. That's our roundtable of experts joining us here. Don't forget to follow us on all those social media outlets that we have. They're at the bottom of the screen right now. We'd love for you to be a partner of Frogs Today. The email will be there as well. If you'd like to email us, we'd love to have you join us here. And, of course, we want you to go to the website, frogstoday.com, rangerstoday.com. Find out everything you need. Do you like the free pub?
Yes, thanks, man.
Yeah,
$5.99 a month, $60 a year.
See, he's got it down, yeah. But start at frogstoday.com. And we want you to log in there, join our family, all right? Until we talk to you next week, have yourself a great week. Thanks for joining us here on Frogs Today.
Frogs Today is brought to you by the Flying Tea Club, supporting TCU student athletes, and by Richard's Rainwater. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Frogs Today is a production of Roxo Media House. Roxo Media House.